Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our training videos. Molière said, "It is not just what we do, but what we do not do, for which we are accountable." In this video, we're going to talk about accountability. Accountability. It's a word which may sound easy, but assuming we understand what it is, it's even more difficult to implement. It's difficult to implement because on the one hand, it speaks to us as leaders, and it speaks to our expectation of other people in the roles, responsibilities, and tasks that we give them. So we're going to talk about accountability. My name is Igwe. I have over 35 years experience working across 5 different markets, including Europe, Middle East, and Africa, where I've, over those years, created, developed, grown, led an amazing group of people across different continents in different countries, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Accountability, that's the subject of today. Now, if you've been following some of these videos I've been sharing, I invite you to comment, share, like, and subscribe to this video channel. Accountability. You see, accountability is not just a responsibility. I've heard people say, well, it's the same as responsibility. Well, no, it isn't. Responsibility is like something you are responsible for, and you have others who are responsible for that. Yes, you have a responsibility as a leader, but accountability is very different. You see, as Molière said, it's not just what you do, it's what you don't do. In a sense, if you're responsible for something, you get it done, you have to do it, you've got to see it through. In accountability, there are choices, there are decisions that you make as a leader, things that you own. It also requires a transparency on your behalf, on your side, and also perhaps a vulnerability. Let's face it, we all know of many CEOs, chairmen of major corporations, smaller companies, it doesn't matter, who have been relieved of their duty. They've been fired, or the shareholders have decided they don't want to have them anymore. It's not just about performance. It's the fact that they are accountable for the choices and decisions that have been made strategically and operationally and financially and everything else in between. You are held to a standard. And I believe that accountability holds you to a higher standard than those who have responsibility. They hold you to a higher standard of leadership than many other people. And let me give you some reasons why this is important, and hopefully these will help you to understand the importance and how accountability can help you. So here I've given you these outlines, but we're going to start with this one. Know yourself. Know yourself. Now you may say, well, I know myself, but do you really? In other words, when your feet are held to the fire and you are being called to that judgment moment where this is what you should have done or have done, how will you address that? How will you behave? You see, if you know yourself, you firstly embrace the fact that you accept to be held accountable for the choices and decisions that you are going to make. If you know yourself, you will also know how far you can go in the choices and decisions that you make. You may be a huge risk taker. That's okay. But if you take huge risks, there is even greater accountability. If you take small risks, there is a lower level of accountability, but nonetheless as important, because people measure you on those benchmarks. So you want to know yourself and know that you are capable of doing what you say you're going to do, or what you're going to manage, deal with, help grow. So know yourself, and it's also very much knowing yourself in terms of your mindset, what you're able to do, how far you can go, what you'll accept. So know yourself. That's really important, because without knowing yourself, I doubt that you'll be very effective as somebody who has accountability. Tough choices. Accountability is about making tough choices, especially if you are a successful leader or a leader, it doesn't matter, but we're generally wanting to push the bar to higher levels, to perform at your very best. So to be accountable, you will have to make tough choices. The easy choices, that's not part of your game plan. That should not be part of your leadership arm or baggage or toolbox. Know that when you make tough choices, the tougher they are, the higher the standard, and the better your performance level should be as well. So you'll be making some tough choices, which also means once you know yourself and you don't want to make those tough choices, accountability may waver. Failure occurs. I put that in there because there's often this myth that being accountable for something means that you can never fail, or you must never fail. That's not true at all. In a previous video, I mentioned about making mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. Indeed, you should make mistakes, but make them less and less. And make them less and less impactful on you, on your business. But it's okay to fail. The point is, what are you going to learn from the failure? That is back to this, know yourself. What did I learn when I failed? And how does that make me better at accountability? But failure occurs. Accept it, embrace it, and move on. Share accountability. What I mean by that is, yes, you've got the ultimate responsibility of targets, of objectives, of new markets, new business, whatever it happens to be. And you're going to hold yourself to that standard. But within your team, within your organization, bring in others who you want to invite to be accountable with you. In other words, share your vision, share your objective, share your desire, where it is you want to go. Because the more people you have who share, on the one hand, it means that you can share more freely and they can give you feedback, and you feed off each other's energy, the energy of the team, the organization, the company. Everybody's going to be rooting for this to be successful because you have helped them also grow by sharing the accountability and responsibility, in their case maybe, but they'll come back with you to you and say, yeah, we can do that. Avoid excuses. This is the paramount flip side, if you like, of accountability. It's so easy. And how many of you, I have in my career, had bosses or company bosses or whoever who have said, well, the market, the economy, the politicians, we didn't have the right staff, we didn't have the right budgets, the banks didn't lend us, whatever. There are no excuses that can be allowed when you are holding yourself accountable to the performance that you are expecting. No place at all. So excuses have to go. It's mea culpa. It's my responsibility. I didn't do it. I didn't achieve it. Because you see, in terms of leadership, I would say integrity, which you've heard me mention before, and honesty, which I've mentioned before, and accountability are all part of leadership. However, integrity, honesty feed into accountability. Why? Because if you don't have a level of integrity where you don't make excuses, you don't blame other people, you don't blame the weather, the economy, or anything else, where you have integrity to say, I know myself, it was my fault or my responsibility, I own it. And then you have honesty, where you're able to say to your team, your shareholders, to whoever, I did not achieve what I wanted to achieve. I hold myself responsible, I hold myself accountable for the non-performance. And that is accountability. So accountability may sound a little nebulous, a little difficult to get your arms around. maybe a little difficult to understand, maybe even more difficult to implement. But if it starts with you define the level of performance you want for yourself as a leader. You define where you want that to go and how that is going to play out. And when you do that, you have full, total ownership. You can look yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I want to achieve. If you make it, you're ecstatic. If you don't make it, it is still your responsibility because you made the choices and the decisions that impacted the outcome. But the more that you practice being accountable, I wouldn't say the easier it gets, but it just becomes part of your playbook and you'll be respected even more for it. Not only will you get respect because you deserve respect that you'll give to yourself, but others will respect you as well when you, in a transparent and open, honest manner, with full integrity, say, it was my success or my failure. Albeit, if it's successful, you want to make sure that you share that with the team. But the point is here, it's about you owning that success, which is what we always want to focus on. Failure is okay, it'll occur, but you want to be successful. So I invite you to think about these various points in terms of accountability. Know yourself. You've got tough choices to make them. Failure occurs, embrace it. Share the accountability with others where necessary and avoid excuses. There's no place for excuses when you want to be a successful leader. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you'll join me again. In the meantime, if you can like, share and subscribe to this channel, that would be amazing, and we look forward to meeting with other training videos in the coming weeks. Thank you.